Alright, so I haven't seen you guys in about a month and a half now, and I know the original reason was because I was taking the ACTs, and that was, like I said, a month and a half ago. But now I really wanted to finish up the year with schooling because this is my last week of school, so I want to get this out of the way and then come back to making videos. But if tonight's going to be a pay per view, I'm not going to deprive you guys of a video, so right now, I'm going to preview or give my predictions for tonight's Extreme Rules pay per view. This is the fourth, I believe. Yes, I believe this is the fourth Extreme Rules pay per view that WWE has ever had to offer. So let's get that right down to business. The pre show match. The Miz made his return, I believe, last week on Raw. And tonight he'll make his pay per view return against Cody Rhodes. Um, since they made Miz look really good Friday against Damian Sandow, um, I'm sure they'll probably give it to Cody Rhodes. I wouldn't doubt it here. I could see this being a heel pay per view because of how WrestleMania came out, and I know I didn't give my thoughts on WrestleMania, but I'm sure I'll do that in a later video. Um, but not right now. Cody Rhodes, it's funny too because I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago that I predicted that Cody Rhodes was going to make it to the main event, and I felt that he was capable of holding his own with guys like who at the time like Edge and Del Rio and Christian and Orton and all them, but right now it's like he's just floating around like he's the hometown jobber, you know what I mean? But I hope Cody gets the win here. I know I'm a Miz fan, but still, I feel Cody should get the win here. And since WWE has started off their pay per view, especially Extreme Rules, with a Randy Orton match 2 years in a row, last year being Kane and 2 years ago being CM Punk, I'm sure he's going to start off the show tonight in his hometown crowd. I believe this is in St. Louis, and he's going to have an Extreme Rules match with the Big Show, who Big Show turned his back on him and Sheamus at WrestleMania. So I guess Randy Orton's the one that has some beef with Big Show, even though Sheamus does too. But that's all right. And both times, by the way, Randy Orton went over on CM Punk and Kane. So I'm sure they'll give the damn win to Randy Orton here and keep him uh, notable for Payback, which is coming up next month because he's in the promo video. So obviously they're going to try and use him or something. I don't know what WWE is doing with Big Show. Literally, like he's floating around too. Like whenever you see him, he's down on the mat getting his ass whooped or something. Thank you. Um, if you don't hear that, that's some retard's car alarm going off. Our second match, Fandango versus Chris Jericho. This is the return match from WrestleMania, in which Fandango ended up getting the win over Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. And tonight, I don't think he's going to be so lucky. I think tonight Jericho gets the win. Um, I don't like it. I really don't, because I am one who thinks the Fandango thing could go a little further as to maybe even U.S. title status. I thought that was the whole reason they gave Kofi the belt at all anyway, but it looks like, well, I'll get to that very later. But yeah, I thought Fandango would have been like, up in title ranks for at least a U.S. title, Obviously, well, at most a U.S. title, at least a U.S. title. So he's kind of stuck between a glass ceiling there. Um, but getting a win over the first ever undisputed champion who beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night, you'd think that your career should skyrocket now. But no, I'm sure they're going to keep this feud going with him and Jericho going on for a little while longer. And then they'll probably have their final match at SummerSlam or something. That's if Jericho can show up, because I heard he might miss SummerSlam due to the Fozzy World Tour. So we're going to have to find out about that one. But yeah, I see Jericho gets the win here with the Walls of Jericho or something. And mind you, besides the pre-show, this is the only regular singles match on this entire card, besides the YouTube pre-show. I felt that they should have made this match like a tables match or something on Friday or something. Throw a table or a ladder or something in there. Rather, this is an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I remember back when WWE actually had meaning with their storylines. I remember it was like, I think it was Hell in a Cell or something. I remember like every match was in a Hell in a Cell or something like that. or that might have been TNA. TNA did the same thing too. So there's that. The strap match, Sheamus and Mark Henry. I say Mark Henry gets the win here. First heel to go over since Cody Rhodes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what WWE's planning with Sheamus either, because there's a lot of guys on here that's just like, their careers are just going to either fade away, or I'm sure they're going to have Randy Orton and Mark Henry or something, or they'll try and mix it up or something, because here's the thing, it's awkward having two big faces on SmackDown, like Sheamus and Randy Orton, they're big faces, mind you, but they're not in the world title picture, they're not, like I said, notable on SmackDown at all. You know, they don't get any face time at all. And I thought Randy Orton was going to be the one that was going to turn at WrestleMania, but turned out being the Big Show. Randy Orton needs to turn back into a bad guy pretty quick, though, because I'm sure when he does turn back into a bad guy, he's going to feud with Sheamus. So it'll give Sheamus something to do before they probably put the belt back on him later on this year. The U.S. title's on the line. Kofi defends the belt against Dean Ambrose of the Shield. I say Dean gets over here. I say Dean wins in a... I say this one's a pretty good match. I say about 6-7 minutes. Kofi's very good, especially after WrestleMania. He's known for putting on solid performances after WrestleMania. So I'm interested to see what he's going to have to offer with Dean Ambrose. This is his singles debut at a pay-per-view, because he did take on The Undertaker a few weeks ago on Friday. But there's that. I can see this match going about 6 or 7 minutes and having Dean ended up getting the win. Thank you. That's probably like the alarm to tell me that I'm talking too much. The tag team titles are on the line in a tornado-style tag team match. Team Hell No defends against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins of The Shield. I expect this match to be very good. I say maybe a 10, 11 minute match with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins getting the win here. And one thing I want to bring up, what is today, by the way? Today, you can go down there if you don't know. Today's May 19th. And a lot of wrestling fans remember this date back in 2006. As in, not one of my favorite years of wrestling, but a year in wrestling nonetheless. May 19th, when the imposter Kane thing, his new movie See No Evil came out, Kane's, that might play a factor in later tonight. It might, if WWE has some continuity whatsoever, but we know WWE by now. They have no continuity whatsoever. So, I say, I could see Kane basically just walking off on Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan ends up getting the loss for his team, and then setting up Kane and Daniel Bryan for the singles feud that we should have had last year, but they screwed it all up for the tag title thing. I saw that coming, and just, but finally we're going to get that singles feud and see maybe if Daniel Bryan turns out to be the big good guy out of the group. So there's that. I want to get to the steel cage match later on, so we're going to talk about the I Quit #1 contenders match between Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger. This is their return match, because they were both in the World Heavyweight Championship match last month at WrestleMania, in which Jack Swagger should have won the match, but it looks like his drug bust later on early last month, it doesn't look like it's going to do him any that bad. He's still in a #1 contenders match with Alberto Del Rio. And I feel Swagger, WWE doesn't build Swagger up right. They really don't, because whenever they build him up, especially at WrestleMania, they build him up so big to the point where he could win the belt, but then he gets buried by freaking Del Rio later on in the night anyway. So it's like, they tend to do that a lot with a lot of their stars. And look at Dolph Ziggler, for example. You're World Heavyweight Champion now. Look at him. I think I mention this every single time I talk about the Royal Rumble. He'll walk into the Rumble with a WWE or a World Heavyweight Championship match, and it's like, all right, WWE's going to start off the year by building up Dolph Ziggler. What happens? They build him up, he has this world title match, he ends up losing, and he fades off to obscurity. I don't know, and then this year they finally did him right by giving him the damn world title, so there's that. I say Swagger gets the win here. Oh, by the way, I said Roman Reigns and Rollins get the win for the tag titles. I say Swagger gets the win here. And obviously, since Ziggler's now in that concussion thing, This means Swagger will get a world title match against Dolph Ziggler whenever he can return, which will probably be SummerSlam. And then I'm sure WWE's going to be like, oh, well, Del Rio's going to walk in and say, I never got my return match for the World Heavyweight title. So they're going to make it the match that we should have had tonight, the ladder match, Del Rio, Swagger, and Ziggler, probably at SummerSlam. So there's that. I don't see Del Rio losing this, or Del Rio winning this match. I can't. I mean, it would just screw up Swagger in the process. Simple as that. I'm debating on which match to talk about next. The Ryback Cena or Triple H and Lesnar. If they were smart enough, they'd put Triple H and Lesnar as the main event, but I'm sure they're not. So we're going to talk about Ryback and Cena for a little while, and then we'll fade back into the Triple H and Brock Lesnar match. The last man standing match for the WWE Championship, John Cena takes on Ryback, and I know I did not talk about John Cena winning the WWE Championship from The Rock at WrestleMania, nor did I talk about Ryback turning heel the next night. So I didn't talk about either of those because of the whole ACT deal. So here you go. Cena being champion, I wasn't mad about it at all. I felt that it was needed, and they needed to put the belt on someone that was able to show up every night, and Cena was that guy. And we all know WWE. We all know what they're going to do because they've done it the past 2 years, or 3 years mainly, too, because they did it last year with Lesnar. They're going to bring back some big monster heel to make Cena look vulnerable again for the title. And, that's exactly what they're doing again here. They're making Ryback stand out again as the monster heel on SmackDown, and they're probably doing it because Punk ended up leaving, and we don't know when he's going to be coming back. But Ryback could get over as a bad guy if they push him right, and I might make a video about that later on this week, but I feel like I'm under some sort of time limit this time because I want to try and limit my video making down to a minimum. So Cena and Ryback tonight. I know there was a match 3 years ago between Cena and Batista that used duct tape in the same exact match stipulation. If WWE wants to ruin this pay-per-view, they'll use that ending. So yeah, they'll get all the buys and everything, but when people like me and people like, who's going to review it? Everybody's going to review it on Twitter that I know of. Everybody will review it, and they'll say this is the worst pay-per-view of the year, and blah, 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 and if you paid for it, you want your money back, and all that sort of stuff. WWE, I pray, I beg you, don't go with this duct tape thing, because first of all, if you're trying to make Ryback look strong in the same point, you don't use duct tape for it, first of all. You look at what you did with Batista. Look at what you did with Dave Batista 3 years ago with the whole duct tape thing. When they had the return match at Over the Limit the next month, no one thought Batista was going to win. And what happened? He ended up getting FU'd onto a car and then off a car through the stage. So, ultimate burial there. So, if they want to bury Ryback into the fucking ground, they will use this duct tape thing. Otherwise, I see absolutely no way Cena can win because think about it. It is Super Cena, but I'm kind of like thinking about it as just a regular fan watching. There's no way Cena could win, But Cena is he's undefeated at Extreme Rules, defeating Morrison and Miz 2 years ago. He defeated Lesnar last year. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Batista. And 4 years ago, I don't even know who he faced 4 years ago, but still. I'm going to go with Cena here anyway, because I see Cena going on and holding the belt for a little while longer. They're probably going to keep mentioning that The Rock is still the number one contender, so that when Rock does come back, they'll have someone for him to come back and be like, oh, let's have Cena and Rock Part 3 at SummerSlam or something like that, and we'll have Cena freaking win the belt again, so... whatever. And then the last match I need to talk about, the steel cage match between Triple H and Brock Lesnar. This is one of the only matches on this entire card that I'm actually looking forward to. As to last month, I was not really looking forward to this match whatsoever, but now they're putting backbone in this match, and that's exactly what I like. I like seeing something like this go on. They basically main evented on Raw on Monday, so I think tonight we're in for a good match with Triple H and Lesnar. They're going to use this steel cage. Brock Lesnar definitely has the advantage as to his cage fighting background with the UFC Championship and all that sort of stuff, the MMA that he does. But so Lesnar does have the advantage, and yes, I say Brock Lesnar gets the win here. I say he puts a manhandling down on Triple H, and I say this is where Triple H kind of fades away for a little while, and Triple H takes his usual break around this point. This could actually write Triple H off, actually, who knows? This may be the last Triple H match we see, so, yeah, there's that. Leave me your thoughts and everything down in the comment section below. Don't feel bad. Please post a video response. Let me know what you guys have to say about this. And, yeah, I think that's all I need. If I missed anything, it'll be in the description box. And I'll see you guys later tonight or tomorrow for my Extreme Rules recap. So that's about it for me. Perry the Entertainer signing out. Peace.